All right, Carl, co-founder of Superhumans. That's interesting.
Yes,
How
I think
did
so too.
you, you know, I really like this Superhumans. I remember when I saw it first, and I used it when we did the IPO. It was sort of these conferences, AWE. They were talking about that. AWE sort of AR World, AR VR, I guess, World Expo, and they were talking about Superhumans there.
Yeah,
Did you also see it first there, or did you catch it somewhere else?
I, I think AWE. I think they talk a lot about superpowers, maybe superhumans as well. And I actually didn't come up with a name. It was my co-founder Anders who came up with a name.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure where it came from first.
Right. But you're probably right that it wasn't superhumans. It was actually superpowers.
Yeah.
Because I like the whole. I like the whole idea that with augmented reality, because you're augmenting reality and you are providing yourselves with powers that you don't have with your normal senses. So you, in some sense, you are a superhero or superhuman, and it's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I like the name a lot as well, and it's really about giving superpowers in what we do, trying to give superpowers to work in the professional to people in the professional work life.
Yeah, and who doesn't want to have superpowers? Come on.
Exactly.
Exactly. But tell us a little bit more, Carl, about what kind of superpowers. Can you have X-ray vision, or what sort of superhero powers do you provide humans with?
Yeah, I think the AR, you can provide X-ray vision to people for sure. I think that's part of it. If you do like a training education that is enhanced or augmented with augmented reality or smart glasses, is to be able to kind of see, okay, what is inside this car, or what is inside this machine I have in front of me, and like how do the different parts work, and if I need to fix something, like what should I do, and can kind of provide you a better understanding of the problem that you're facing.
No, it is really, and that's kind of and it's kind of cool with these that soon, at least if I don't know, Google, Apple, Facebook are getting their way, we will be walking around with these kind of glasses as that's going to be the new norm. Instead of mobile phones, everyone will have superpowers in their glasses. Isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe so very strongly, and I think it's a natural step from having. I think you will have a combination of devices. To be honest, I think you will have your phone is really good for some interaction and some things, and the glasses for other things, and watches and other kind of sensors and input and devices. So I think it will be like a flurry of different devices that will kind of.
But what do you think the smart glasses? What kind of applications do you think will they be, say, a preferred device for, with all these things that you can do with devices today?
I think some of the areas where we are working right now, we have warehouse work for like manual picking in warehouses. I think that's an excellent place for smart glasses. We also work with doctors right now and frontline staff for COVID patients.
Wow.
So as like an extra way of communication really between people as well, and so I think there's a lot of different areas. We also worked with architects, and for architects it's about kind of visualizing and communicating your idea to. And it could be like the end user, the buyer for the house that you have kind of envisioned, but it could also be to the construction worker, the person that are supposed to build this house. Like, how do you communicate that in an efficient way? And for architects, it's like if you have like a 2D drawing on a piece of paper. If you are an architect, or maybe if you're a construction worker, you're kind of familiar with that, the type of 2D drawing. So you get a feeling of, okay, it probably looks like this. But with AR and VR, you can have no experience of those maps at all, or drawings at all, and you can still like, okay, this is what it looks like. This will be my house, my future house, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, it is. It's, it's kind of cool how technology, how it evolves so quickly. And as you're saying, this is kind of this is cool stuff. But it won't be long before everything you talked about is in a little bit here for an business use. As you said, this could be for an architect or for a truck driver in order for them to have both hands free. But when do you think it will be common for everyday people to have sort of smart glasses, and what kind of applications? What will they do with these glasses? What do you think that you can't or wouldn't do with your mobile device?
I think it will take a few years before it's kind of common with smart glasses, and we need one of the big players in the industry like Apple or Samsung or maybe Google to kind of start paving the way for what would be like a mainstream device. I mean, there's a lot of rumors. Every year there are new rumors about this happening, but there are some technical challenges that needs to be solved. But eventually we will have them. And I think from a application perspective, you see what you use AR for today. It's a lot of games on the mobile device, but also like all of these notifications, the thing that you use your mobile phone for today, like driving, navigation, and yeah, those types of things for sure.
Yeah, interesting. Payments, as we are in, do you think you will pay with mobile smart glasses in the future? With a blink of an eye, you've lost that corona.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I think payments will move from. I mean, it's moved from like cash that you had in your wallet to these plastic cards, and now the plastic cards will disappear as well, and you will have it in your smartphone. But like, why not move that from your smartphone to your smart glasses or your smartwatch or something else that you might bring with you? But I'm not sure what you say, but I feel that like the plastic cards, they will probably disappear even quicker than cash kind of disappeared.
Yeah, no, it's moving very quickly to be that's sort of physical with a plastic card, and that will be digital. And we are working on trying to replicate cash, but in a digital form. And then what I mean is really not just that you pay in a digital way, because that's been around for a while. I mean all the properties of cash, the fact that it works 24/7, robust, never ever, it's just as robust as cash, and that you can be private, and it's going to have to be very easy to use. So all these things that cash represent, which I think will be, well, certainly in Sweden, where we might move to a cashless society, in a few years, then we need that. But also I think this could be something which is great for any sort of type of payment situation, because if you have something, if you just have enough money on your wallet, why really go online? Why wouldn't you use that and settle it offline, and then as a subsequent step, well, then you can upload it and move the money between the accounts? Because I think that's just, I wonder sometimes, I think, why isn't everybody doing that already? So anyway, but you remember when we departed, Carl, because you were our COO at Crunchbase. For how many years were you COO? Or I know you started as a development director, but what was your span in Crunchbase? You were with us for quite some time.
For 5 years, I think, in the end, and I don't have the date in my head, like when I switched these roles. But
when did you start Superhumans?
2 years ago.
2018 was it? Yeah. So because I think you're right. I joined Crunchbase 2012, and you came quite early, maybe 2013, I think. So
13.
That makes 5 years to 2018.
Yeah. So probably 3 years as a development manager, and then I moved on to the COO role.
And I remember when you left, because I was trying to convince you to stay, failed miserably. But we were talking about, I think you were very right that you said, well, I want to do applications now. Crunchfish does technology. You're great at that, but that's one thing to do. As you say, the challenge right now for if AR ever going to come in consumer glasses, there are some technological challenges to solve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Application is another thing. Could you, just like you described it for me when you left, that you want to do application? Yeah, but I think it's an interesting distinction that I don't think people see that clearly, that technology is one thing and application is another. Could you outline or describe that a little bit for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like technology would be the enabler of things, and the application is it's like where you apply it. So for my personal journey, I've been working with technologies and kind of what we call it in middleware in the industry for quite a few years. And I wanted from personally to get kind of closer to the end users and figure out like, okay, all these different technologies that we have and great technologies, like how do we really apply them? Like how do we make a true difference for the end user? And how, like in my case then, like how do I provide superpowers to professional workers? And I think one thing with technologies is also that technologies are enablers, and you can use them for kind of for good and for bad. And it's really when you try to apply it that you really need to think about, like, is this application good for human beings and workers, or is it something that is bad for them? And I think that somewhere there is the distinction. The technologies as enablers, enabling things, and
yeah, I think it's good because I think we certainly, if we look at gestures, because I think you certainly worked a lot with gestures. I know you helped us with the delivery of some of our very first sort of customers that we had. We actually had a Christmas quiz the other day, and one of the questions that Joachim Niedermark had put together was, what was our first shipment? What customer is that? Do you remember that, Carl? Were you here then? I think you were.
Yeah. So
we had 4 choices, but I won't give that to you.
Okay. I know we delivered early to Oppo. I know we delivered early to Gionee as well.
Yeah, you're right. Gionee was the first one. Gionee, and I think Oppo, and Oppo's been with us all the time since then. You know, Oppo, and one of the major sort of players here in the world still. You know, huge sort of mobile phone manufacturer. I don't know. They are top 5 in the world, I think, still.
Yeah.
So, but Gionee was the right answer. But I think Oppo was probably second. But I think in looking at technology here, because I think what we are working with is to try to just enable that technology shift from AR, which currently, if you do AR for if you are a warehouse worker, you get pick lists and they can put a whole helmet on with a lot of sensors, and because he's paid to wear it. But I think for consumers, it's going to be a different challenge, and it's so much more diverse in terms of use case. So it's going to be harder to solve in a way with the consumer market. Yeah, and this is what we're trying to enable with our technology for any application. That's the plan.
Yeah, I think that makes total sense, and I'm sure that like for AR, also VR of course, but if we talk about AR right now, I think you need a lot of different ways to interact with both the device and the content in the device, because if you look at AR, it's really like an extension of the ordinary world. So if you walk around in the world outside, you talk to people and to some extent animals. You make gestures to maybe people and animals, and like physical things you interact with your hands. So I think that's really the holy grail of gesture interaction, that you're able to like grab and manipulate these virtual objects in the same way as you grab and manipulate a physical object. So if I have a virtual coffee cup in front of me and that does something, I don't think you would probably like say like a voice command to it. You would rather like reach out with your hand and grab that coffee cup, even if it's virtual, and do something with it. But so for these type of devices and technologies, I think, or I'm sure that you will have like all these different ways of interaction. And right now, to be very honest, I think it's we need these different ways also because no one is like fully delivering yet. So if you're stuck with voice commands and voice interaction, you will meet challenges with that. There are situations where it doesn't really work.
I think all analog choices where it's sort of a little bit on a scale, that's difficult. A little bit more, a little bit less. No, don't. It's so much easier to just in a way or sort of do things with a gesture. I think that's so much more natural.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, as I think the natural is the key word here as well, that you want to have like a natural interaction, and it's some scenarios it's natural to say something, and in some scenarios it's natural to make a gesture, and in some situations natural to tap or something, or push on something. We are human beings, so we will do like natural things.
Have you seen the latest now that we've released actually now, and we're shipping it now, Skeleton 1.0? Did you see that announcement?
Yeah, I saw that, and I think it looks really cool. It's kind of amazing what we can do, what you can do right now with RGB cameras.
I'm actually the interview here, the first interview, you know, after this alumni week, which I really thought have been fun to do. Next week's going to be a gesture week, and the guy I'm starting actually to interview on Monday. I guess it would be Monday the 4th. Our lead engineer, who is, I sort of described it to him that what other people can do with a soccer ball, he can do with an orange. It's sort of a Zlatan expression that what other people needs a lot of sensors and a lot of processing power. Our lead engineer, you know, he does that easily with an orange. And it's really quite cool. And I think it's required for if you're going to go for the consumer sort of huge market that, you know, as he says, you really want to have as little constraints as possible. And just having a single RGB camera is fantastic. And still be able to see depth even. That's what he's been able to do.
Yeah.
And depth seeing, I think, is key in order to grab virtual objects. Obviously, you really need to have depth, otherwise it won't work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you downloaded our, because I know we're shipping to customers, have we shipped it to the Superhumans?
I haven't been able to try it out yet, but I'm happy to try it. So yeah, just please ship it.
We should. Well, you know, you have so many contacts here, so you probably you know where to call to get you know our SDK. It would lovely if you tried it. I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And another sort of, because you are with us at a very important point in our journey where, you know, we were with gestures. I know you I think you were. You know, with GoCam, we created a camera, which still is available on App Store. That if you now for New Year's tomorrow want to take pictures of everybody sort of partying, you know, you can take it at a distance with just, you know, you can do this, and then you start a timer, and then you release, and then it counts back. Or I think we do this as well now. Then it takes it immediately. So it's kind of cool. So everybody can download it. It's free, and you are part of that, Carl, weren't you?
Yeah, that's true. And that was great fun and a very successful demo. I mean, it started out as a product demo, as I remember it, and we decided to launch it on App Store and got great reviews and lots of downloads.
No, it's still there. We're keeping it there.
Yeah.
But we had something that I am actually thinking of going against you, Carl, because I know you argue we should take it out, because we had for a while 2.0. I actually got it on my Facebook sort of flow. I saw 6 years ago we had GoCam 2.0. It had GoCam where you could take touchless pictures, but we also had a bubble in. that you could share them immediately. But I know you say, well, let's just keep it simple, and we threw it out again. And but I'm thinking to throw it in again now.
Yeah, for sure. But I think you should like share. I think you should share it like right away. So it's always like if it's enabled, you should just share it, like people around you. But there are some. I think now we're getting into back maybe to the technology and about like you can do good things and bad things with technology, and that's always like a challenge when you have something like a bubble where you can immediately share a picture that you've taken to everyone around you within a certain distance. And there are some pros with that, and there are some drawbacks as well, of course. From my perspective, looking at like sharing a picture with people that are kind of really nearby, they would have seen that picture anyway, because they were there when it was taken. But maybe it can be used in some.
But for me, it's a little bit just because I'm seriously thinking of that because what was then the bubble area, what it can do, it's some sort of superpower also, because in your bubble you can discover who's there, and you can also connect with the people or things around you, which is kind of a cool thing, isn't it? Which is superpowers. You can go into a bar and you can discover, all right, who is single here? And that's not something you can see it's not X-ray vision, but it's actually understanding properties of your surroundings, which is interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really cool technology. And it's also about this kind of bridging the gap between digital and physical, which is like where we have AR is about like visualizing that kind of gap between the digital and the physical, and like a technology like a bubble is something that kind of understands that gap and can provide some details about it, as you say, like the properties of people or things around you, and then it's about like presenting that in an interesting way depending on the use case.
Yeah, because I always saw that if you sit at home at your computer, you're connected to the internet, but with your mobile phone, you're pretty much connected to the same internet on your mobile phone, just that you have a smaller screen, but you haven't really used the power of being mobile. The fact that you move around with your mobile, wouldn't it be great that mobile could connect to the surroundings of you right now, which is will always change, will be very dynamic, contextual. That's actually taking, I think, the internet or whatever, or connectivity to the next level, using the power of the mobile.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, I'm. This is the area of our 5 solution areas. What actually started with a bubble. Now it's we still have. I'm calling it nearby now, because no one can understand what funny spelt a bubble means, even if it's bubbla. Or Swedes could see that, but no one else outside Sweden. So I'm using the Google word nearby instead, which is still short and. But now we have Blipit and digital cash and even food waste, all coming out of the same sort of technology area in some sense. So it's just exploded for us that we have tech in 4 areas, which started with just an idea when you were still with us very much. Yeah. You and some of the first patents. I know you are an innovator. I don't know. You are aware that, and they've all gone through. So it's all now. Granted patents, not just applications anymore. So
I've seen that. That's great fun, and it was really fun being part of those early days in that technology that we were thinking about. And I think it's one of the core strengths of Crunchfish as well as a company to have. You have a lot of creative and innovative minds in there, which is that's. Great pleasure to work with you back then.
No, but likewise. So I did try hard to ask you to stay, but I understand, and I think you were right. That I think we should. It was right advice of you. Why don't you stick to your core of technology, and let me do my applications in another company. which probably was wise advice, because I think we've stuck to our core and we don't really do application. And but it's sometimes I think from the outside it's hard to really understand the difference, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, but it's good. So I normally ask this question. What do you think of our future? What do you think of Crunch's future? And what do you think of the Superhuman future? We're all in, it's all about really to give superpowers to people. I think we do that with all our tech in some sense. Enable superpowers, and you deliver applications for superpowers. But what's the future like for us, Carl, do you think?
I'm very positive about the future. I think we're seeing things happening now, and we're seeing more companies take on AR in their business in many different ways. And I think it's typical with these kind of new technologies that, like, in the first couple of years, people will there's always you have the standard hype curve, of course, but it's also about like trying out different areas and finding out where it fits, and at the same time, that the great technology and hardware companies, they will work really hard to make sure that the hardware and the units, they are small enough and lightweight enough and have enough battery life and all those things that are needed, as well as like great ways to interact. And when we have all those pieces kind of in place, then the market is ready, and we have companies ready to kind of push this out to the market.
Yeah. And Superhumans, I guess, is one on the application side, and then Crunchfish is another on the technology enabling side. So we will be there.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I think it's getting closer and closer to having all ducks in a row, as you say. So and it's I talked to or I will talk to, I guess, because we're gonna add that on the first. But I have already done that interview on ketchup effect, because I think it is first comes nothing, and then when all ducks in a row, then it could go quite quickly actually, as rolling it out something like in the AR area, because I think it's been around for a long time, but it hasn't been really ripe, at least not for consumers. For industrial, I think it's actually becoming, as you said, quite real already. Yeah. Are you pursuing more than industrial applications right now? Is that the focus of Superhumans right now?
Yeah, we're focusing on like industrial use and professional use. That even if there are some like glasses available that are kind of leaning towards like consumers, so we're not there as a company yet. It might happen, of course, but
yeah. This is the last day of or the last interview of 2020. So we have to look ahead a little bit for 2021. Any New Year's resolutions that you already come up with, Carl?
That's a tough one. Maybe you want to start?
I think me and Henrik, and now I'm sort of stealing his thunder, but we agreed on having more fun 2021 than in 2020. I think
I think that kind of applies to the whole world.
It's been a strange year, hasn't it?
It has been a very strange year, and I think having more fun applies to everyone worldwide. It will be better.
Yeah. No, you haven't been around much, Carl. We are missing you. So officially, you were invited to come up for to hang out. If not, well, if I promise we won't send you the SDK for the skeleton sort of SDK unless you come here, then I'll force you to come and pick it up in person on a stick instead of us you downloading it. No, you can get it, but it would be good to. Where is Superhuman sitting here in Malmö? Where are you located?
Currently, we are working from home, but we will be very close to you guys
in the near future.
In the near future, yeah.
How close? Same building or sort of
same building, like the next doors type. Yeah, next doors kind of.
What does that mean? Sort of next doors? Is that Media Evolution or sort of studio?
No, if everything goes well, we will move into one of the places that are being renovated right now. It will be ready during the spring.
That's great. Then we can. I know all the lunch places around, Carl. So I'll show you. I just went. This was the last lunch until January 11. That's a Monday, where I have a lovely Lebanese sort of. Yeah, you live in Västerhamnen, don't you? So you know that place, sort of at close to the. Yeah, that square outside Glasklart. They're on the corner there. The Lebanese there. Great buffet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I shouldn't teach you. You should probably show me where to go.
We'll sort of that next year.
Yeah, exactly. No, Carl, thank you so much for volunteering to do this interview. As always, very nice to talk to you, and best of luck. I hope maybe countries with our enabling technology could see some of that being applied in Superhuman's sort of applications. That would be great. But otherwise, just come around for a Friday. You know, we still have our Fridays breakfast. Well, not now because of COVID, but otherwise, you're more than welcome to come for a breakfast on a Friday or something if you don't have food in your refrigerator.
Thanks. It's been really nice talking to you again. Yes, best of luck with technologies. I will make sure to apply it.
Excellent. No, that's good. So, and all my best to Charlotta as well. So, and a happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.